The Sincere community is centered on democratizing innovative freedoms in arts therapy to sponsor adult learning.
Hi, you're listening to me, Frank. I am the host and curator. Call me like Elkanah if you want. It's like arts thing. This right here is another edition, a new episode, focusing on health and well-being as well as mindfulness for the Sincere community. Webcasts, podcast. Right, now I've been a holistic therapist within meditation and acupuncture for like over 10 years now. I've been going to college and uni, advancing my practice. Part of it focuses on psychology and philosophy, and I will be advancing in the next couple of years to do stuff in a lab as well, as part of my natural sciences and cell biology, like DIP, HE. That's like I did 2 diplomas combined into like a higher education aspect of like my bachelor's and my master's of sciences that I'm doing. Obviously, like my bachelor's is the most important part, and then I will finish with my master's, but because it has to be in that order, like, otherwise they won't have it. So, becoming an advanced practitioner, studying like formally, and being trained by the NHS as well, from all over the place, like Ireland, different regions compared to Somerset, where I'm from, and that. Also working with like online to study biology and anatomy and the respiratory system, as well as the gut and the mind, or the brain, in neurology and stuff like that, with junior doctors who are led by a senior doctor in what it is I really want to focus all my studies towards, and that is speciality training as I'm becoming an advanced practitioner. So with that in mind, we all know that excuses let us down, because as soon as we make excuses, then we're opening ourselves up to being vulnerable, instead of focusing on the challenge or test of, our aspirations. So as soon as we make excuses, it's sort of disassociative, because we've got to stay focused. You need to be mindful. Mindset is everything. So how do we avoid making excuses? I don't see it as impossible. I see it as like challenging. We're all open to tips and advice on issues to do with our health and our well-being, as well as our psychology. So what are the rewards for not making excuses? Well, the rewards are worth reaping for a start, because we can have a healthier attitude, healthier lifestyle. We can benefit from strength because of that. Even though we're busy with, it's like education and work, trying to maintain our health, although we're busy, it's about practice. It's about practicing. Practice makes perfect, as the saying goes. And the more that you can find the time, or make time and set aside some time every day and keep working on that and get good at it, that's what's great about it, because then you can start to lose weight if that's what you want to do. You can meditate if that's what you want to do. You can learn to cook, and be healthy or healthier and hygienic in practice. I mean, I trained to be a chef, like when I left school. So when I left school in 91, when I was like 15 years old, I went straight into youth training, like the YTS, youth training scheme, and I trained to be a chef with Bristol Catering College. And like, it wasn't ideal because there wasn't a lot of money in it, and plus I wasn't really allowed to sign on. Like, obviously I was still 15, and my birthday's in June, just before the solstice, so like I'm a late spring baby, and I wasn't, albeit that entitled, because I remember, like, it was like back then, 1991, I mean, you had to be 18 years old to really claim JSA, and I wasn't really able to. So only money that I was getting was, like, if I was allowed to have any tips, was just my youth training scheme money. And obviously I wasn't even 16, so like the kind of like income support aspect of like my national insurance contributions within my national insurance number and everything, and being, I was just under 16. So yeah, the first year was really difficult because I was struggling. I had no money at all, really, and I had experience before that, more so than just home ec during my like GCSEs. I had experience in having sold fudge and ice cream during the summer holidays and stuff like that, and at the weekends and everything, until I was like in year 11, the 5th year, and that. So just before leaving school, I lost my job anyway. So like, and then I also helped out at a recording studio, and that was local here in Bath City, not far away from me, at least when it used to be there. They moved up and sold on when they built the bypass. So like just before kind of 91, when they were like developing it. And I used to make sandwiches and cups of tea and that. I would take like artists down to the local pub and stuff like that. I would obviously run around with like mic cables and things and DATs for like engineers and producers and that, and like do the mail and stuff like that, or the envelopes or whatnot, and answer the phone and like order taxis for people. So like, but having said that, I worked in that kitchen there. I had the fudge and ice cream thing that I did, and so like, and I was always healthy and hygienic, because like my mum would kill me, right, if I wasn't, and I didn't wash my hands and everything. And I loved my food anyway. So looking at summer's almost over, we're coming into autumn now, it's just starting to kick in. I don't know if you noticed, we noticed here in Bath City the leaves are like red, yellow, brown, kind of like they're falling from the trees. It's starting to kick in already. It's not October yet. As we head through autumn into winter, what can we do during winter to avoid making excuses and live a healthier lifestyle, have a better attitude within our aspirations, of like practicing healthily and maintaining a healthy lifestyle and attitude within our practice? Well, as we look forward to like the coming winter, there's the aspect of cooking. So like looking after ourselves and eating healthily. You don't have to be a vegetarian, you don't have to be vegan and that, but do you have your meats right? Because you should be eating the meats for your specific blood group and type. If you eat outside of that, you'll give yourselves health problems, and you'll end up with a health condition that can affect your respiratory system. It can cause you to like build up plaque and stuff like that, and fat. You might have problems sleeping, you might have problems breathing and stuff like that, or problems with your indigestion and everything, and going to the toilet. So looking after yourself and maintaining a healthy gut, add the vegetables. Add as many vegetables as you can. They're great for your blood and your bones, and they're great for your flesh and your nails and your hair, your teeth. Vegetables are like an essential source. And obviously get your vegetables right, because a lot of vegetables are high in sugar. So it's right to get a healthy balance and not overdo your greens like too much, although that's like the greatest, like that's the most essential and greatest like source of vitamins and minerals that you can get. They're great for detoxing with green vegetables. But don't overdo it, and don't overdo your carbs as well, because if you start to overdo your carbs, your carbon footprint goes up through the roof. Then your pH balance will suffer and be imbalanced. So it's just about getting it right. You might have to read up a little bit. If you want to contact me via the director email address, sincerecommunity.org. If you do use the website or the organisation website, you may have noticed like my university email address for my affiliation with the Open University. You could always contact me via that. If you have any questions, it will be in confidence as well, confidentiality, it will be private, but you're welcome to ask. Do ask me if you have any questions. So for the winter, spices are great. They're also really good for your immune system and that. And if you suffer with headaches or fatigue, stuff like that, you've been snoring as well, you may not notice that you snore, or you have a partner that's told you there's something wrong with your diet that you need to change to help maintain a healthy gut and your lungs, your respiratory system, as well as your blood. The basics and essentials of like your physiology and that, and eating correctly, eating right for your blood group and your blood type. As well as anything to, if you have like allergies and you're not that aware of them, other sources of like consumables like within food and beverages, things like fatty things like the heavy fatty milks and dairies, stuff like that, really bad for you, really. You know, the detox rule is really simple: 3 days on, 3 days off. Or you might want to like rework that a little bit. Maybe you want to do that for like, because like when you get to the 3 day point of having like consumed the kind of like heavier like organic compounds and fatty oily stuff or sugary salty stuff, like if you go over 3 days, make sure you don't really go any further than 3 weeks, because then you'll want to take 3 weeks off. But the rule itself is 3 days on, 3 days off, and like after 3 days, there's like more than enough days for your like body to recover and everything. The busyness of life, education, work, our attitude, our lifestyles, maintaining it takes a lot of work. It's a lot of practice. It's all well and good to say that, easier said than done almost, but you can have a great time like practicing and enjoy it. Take up like jogging or running, or even like exercises at home, and that, walking to work, or at least half the way and stuff like that. You can take up with that's like stretching and squats and stuff at home, things like that, or going for a jog after you've eaten, and eating healthily. I mean, that's so important if you're really looking to reap the rewards and not suffer and have like these problems. I can see that I've run into like 3.5 minutes. There will be a trailer that's about the same length as well as a bonus. I will focus on this podcast and continue to enlighten you with all the good reasons why it's important for us to not make excuses and to get regular exercise and eat healthily. I'll leave it at that. We're about to hit 14 minutes. Do listen to the bonus and do listen to the trailer. Please leave comments if you have any comments, stuff like that. Don't be afraid to get in contact. Let's go for that.
The Sincere Community curates and hosts an amazing radio public relations profile for local regional teams to promote arts, humanities and social sciences.